Menopausal and perimenopausal women, listen up. It's time to take control of your health and comfort, and Winona is here to help. Winona is a telemedicine company for menopause care who believes that your symptoms are real, important, and deserve to be taken seriously. And for many women, this starts with hormone replacement therapy. Winona's HRT is made with plant-based, bioidentical hormones rather than synthetic ones, so it better aligns with your body to offer relief from hot flashes, weight gain, and other uncomfortable symptoms. 80% of women who use Winona find relief within just 90 days. So, what are you waiting for? Get started today. Visit buywinona.com today to start your free visit. With free shipping and the ability to pause or cancel at any time, your path to wellness has zero obligations. Use code SPRING24 at buywinona.com for 25% off your first treatment plan. That's BYWINONA.com for 25% off. Winona. Menopause care made easy. Summer is the season of hot temperatures, outdoor adventures, and refreshing water activities. Summer is also the season of rough on your feet, causing dry, cracked heels and toes. Introducing Babyfoot, the original exfoliation foot peel that contains 16 natural extracts formulated to remove dead skin cells in 3 easy steps. Apply the booties, relax for an hour, then wash your feet. In 14 days, you've got baby smooth skin and your feet have never been softer. Letting dead skin cells build up over time is hazardous to your foot health. Our professional-grade DIY products, like our original exfoliation foot peel, our men's foot peel, or our moisturizing mask, are some of the best foot care products on the market, created with your foot health in mind. Pamper yourself with a spa day from the comfort and convenience of your own home with Babyfoot. If you want a chemical-free, easy-to-use exfoliating process from the company that created the original foot peel, it's time to treat yourself to Babyfoot. Go to babyfoot.com and use the code SUMMERFEET24 and get 20% off your first order with Babyfoot. That's babyfoot.com and use the code SUMMERFEET24.
Baruch atah Adonai, and welcome to Too Stupid to Live, a podcast that reviews romance novels $5 and under. I'm your host, Becky Feldman, and this is a super special, horny Hanukkah edition of TSTL. I am so excited about today's episode. It's so fun. I was in such a good mood after we recorded, and I think you're going to be in such a good mood after you listen. Okay, so as some of you may know, I was raised Jewish. I still might be Jewish. I don't know. I'm still trying to, but here's what I do know. It's the holiday season, and I just had to review a Hanukkah romance. So today, we are reviewing Revving Up the Holidays. It is by A.S. Fenichel, and it is currently 99 cents. So to review this horny Hanukkah book, I truly feel that there's a limited number of people who I think are expertly qualified to analyze a book like Revving Up the Holidays. And it is truly a Hanukkah miracle, because I have 2 of them on the show today. There used to be friends of mine, David Phillips and Evan Susser. They're comedy writers who both write on the show Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and they also host the podcast Deli Boys, which I hope will return once we can safely eat in restaurants and delis again. So this was a total blast to record, and honestly, you guys, I learned the true meaning of Hanukkah. So please enjoy this review of Revving Up the Holidays. David Susser, the Deli Boys.
We're still the Deli Boys.
Welcome to Too Stupid to Live.
Oh, thanks for having us. It was great to be here, Becky.
I am so excited to have you guys. This is going to be so much fun. I haven't seen you in forever. How are you guys doing? How are you faring?
Evan. Oh, we both asked each other. I'll say quickly, can't complain, of course. Always have to start that way. But I was saying this right as we were about to start. It's kind of crazy. I wonder if Evan realized this. The last time we ate inside of a restaurant was together with Becky.
That's correct.
Yeah, with Becky.
That was the last time I ate inside a restaurant as well. This was our venture to Izzy's was my last like thing that I did.
And it's crazy because it was so long ago.
It was. And yeah, it was the last episode of our podcast that we could go to in person. And this will probably be the last episode of your podcast.
It will be. Yeah.
We're passing that little special touch around to everyone's podcast.
I mean, I'll take it. No, I'm kidding. I mean, not. Well, you know.
The Death Deli Boys touch.
But no, I'm okay. I mean, I think that, like David said, you can't complain. You know, there's so much bad stuff going on in the world. Who am I to complain? But look, it's been quite the year. Okay.
Well, I agree. Can't complain. Of course, we still do complain. And
look, this year is taking away so much from us. If it's also going to take away our ability to complain.
Yeah. But this was very fun and, I mean, an unexpected thrill.
Oh, good. Before this book, have you guys ever like read or even like leafed through romance or an erotica?
No.
That's what I was going to say.
When you asked us to read this book, I was expecting was the novelized version of like a Hallmark movie. I was not expecting the X-rated sexual content that was part of this.
Yeah.
Were you expecting that, David?
No, so here's the thing. I didn't know. I was bracing for it. But then I was like, I think I got far enough in to know, like, okay, it's not going to be the crazy sex stuff. And then it just...
Passage, but we'll wait till we get there because it really hits you and kind of comes out of nowhere.
It really hits you. And like... My wife was asking me about the book that I was reading for it, and I hadn't gotten to the sex part yet. So I was like, you know, I'm not sure. I think it's going to be, not to say that I didn't read it pretty quickly, almost in maybe 2 or 3 sittings, but after the first sitting, I didn't get to the sex part yet. So I was like, you know, I guess it may not be one of those. I don't think it's going to be. I don't know how it's going to change into that. There is no deft touch how it changes into that at all.
No, and honestly, I'm in the same boat as you guys. I was like reading it and I was like, oh, this is like a clean romance. It's super sweet. And then just like all of a sudden it was like, whoa, like I was shocked, and I read these books all the time.
Yeah, the second it gets going, I think I mean, I assume we're allowed to say the words that are in the book. So I'm not trying to be like PG,
100%.
Given how X-rated it is, but then it doesn't really ramp down. It does. No. It's like it's going back and forth, trying to get as much sex in there as possible.
Can I read the passage?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. Oh wait, yes, read the passage.
Well, does Becky? Do you have a plan about how we go about this? First
I mean, listen, we're all over the place, as is this book. No, okay. So I'll give a quick synopsis, and then we'll read the passage. Sus, I'm really excited to hear you read this, by the way. Okay. So the book we are reading is Revving Up for the Holidays. Okay. Isaac Bachman is back, man, to his hometown of Atlanta, Georgia, to celebrate Hanukkah with his family, who he hasn't seen in a while. He also reunites with the 2 very important loves of his life, his Harley-Davidson 1994 Heritage Softail Classic, and his high school crush, Giada Leone. Luckily, Giada's mutual crush on Isaac reignited, but she knows he's not here to stay. Her body yearns to hop on Isaac, but will this ride lead to a broken heart?
No.
Yeah, no, it doesn't, guys. Don't worry. Yeah. Yeah, anyone who was like, oh my God, what the fuck did you guys read? It was like...
Yeah, it's totally fine. Isaac is a Jewish man who works for the former head of NBC Universal, Silverman.
Yeah.
He's from the very... I mean, honestly, it's a joke. I would say the very Jewish setting of Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, I gotta look that up.
No, there's a lot happening. So much about this book made me look stuff up because I was like, is the author not Jewish and is the author married to a Jew? Like I was starting to try and figure out because there was almost like thankfully not too much Jewishness in there.
But 2 pages where it's just the story of Hanukkah.
Yeah, and then but to me,
with no character development or anything.
Yeah. Then you get into the story of Hanukkah and you're like, I don't even know if this is Jewish. It's so like someone looked up on Wikipedia or something.
And copy paste. It looked like it read like the author copy pasted the story of Hanukkah because it wasn't like even how people talk. You know what I mean? I feel like if I were telling you the story of Hanukkah, which by the way, I do not know as well as our character did. And I was like, and then this happened and stuff. And then something like this happened. But he was just like, and then after the raid of blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no one talks like that.
That was so great too because I had the same reaction as you where I was like, I think I'm learning about Hanukkah again in ways that I didn't know some of this story.
I did not know that. Wait, Sus, did you know that story? Like all the details?
I also had the same thing where I was being refreshed. Also, the character is so yeah, I don't really care about this Judaism stuff, but I do happen to know all of the details.
Yeah. That was the most like ridiculous part. I'm curious about how you guys felt about like the other Hanukkah facts that were like in there, whether it felt a little forced.
Yeah.
No. Okay. I'm like so worried. I'm like, what are you talking about, Becky? It was excellent. I'm just like, yeah, no, it was.
I think it very much. Look, I like that this book exists.
Oh,
and
good.
And you know what? There were some moves, and I don't want to like beat up on an author or a writer or creative person because there were some passages that surprised me in me liking them. Mm-hmm. It does feel a little bit like it was a Christmas story that they just changed Hanukkah for. I mean, the concept of being home for Hanukkah is not a thing.
No, and that was my main criticism because it's like no one cares about Hanukkah. Well, I mean, we care, but not in the sense people care about Christmas.
Yes, and then also, by the way. It's why it's a Christmas story. It ended up being about giving someone Christmas in the end.
Yeah, so that we need to fall in love. It's like we've done as much as we can with Hanukkah. It's time to switch over.
Like, honestly, that was the most realistic part of the story for me. Because it's like, yeah, on the 25th, yeah, it's Christmas. Like, of course they're going to do Christmas. Well, and I was like, now it's real.
I have a question since you have, I know we're all over the place already.
All good,
which is very in theme with the book anyways.
Mm-hmm, sure.
So when with these, do they pose the cover after, or does she base the story on a cover? Because to me, she saw a cover with a motorcycle, and she's like, oh, shit, I got to add a motorcycle into this story.
Well, I think that she had a real problem because she wanted to do like a hot, hunky story, but she had a Jewish lead character, so she's like, you know what? He'll also be into motorcycles.
Describe the motorcycle cover. It is.
Yes. Yeah. Do you guys want to describe it for everyone? Because it stresses me out.
It's a man who's not Jewish. 100% not Jewish.
Nope.
Couldn't be farther from Jewish. Sitting the opposite way on a motorcycle. Mm-hmm. And they're both dressed in leather and jeans. Mm-hmm. And he has a leather vest. Again, not Jewish. Mm-hmm. And jeans. She has sort of ripped jeans and a leather jacket. Very not Jewish, but that's okay because her character is not Jewish. She's Italian. And they are sort of straddling each other on the seat of the motorcycle. She's sitting the right way and he's sitting the wrong way. Mm-hmm. And this is close to the sex scene that takes place on the motorcycle, but not entirely, right?
No, not at all. Yeah. There is a sex scene on the motorcycle, which I was like, thank God, because it's a Chekhov's gun situation. If you introduce a motorcycle and don't have sex on it, I give automatic F-. So, wait, what was the question?
Oh, well, I was just wondering, do they pose after you come up with the story, or do you sometimes see a picture and then you're like, I'm going to write a novel based on this picture that I found that's
This
like public domain. Because this picture
is-
looks like it was taken a long time ago.
Yes. This picture, this is what I think. An author writes a book. They only have so much in their budget for the cover picture. They have a subscription to a stock photo company. They find the stock photo that fits the best.
Wow.
They get someone to adjust the background, maybe.
They did a pretty good job then. It's just close enough to make you feel like they had to somewhat be like, I mean, it's weird.
Yes. I definitely think this was a stock image that existed beforehand. It was the closest thing to the description, which what bothers me about this is that it's fucking winter also, and he's sleeveless, and he's wearing a motorcycle club jacket, and he's not in a motorcycle. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is a vest. This is an MC vest, and he's like a nice Jewish boy who like works in sports advertising.
Right. So he's not, he in no way is he like a Jewish boy.
He's never described as a Jewish boy in any moment.
Characteristics.
Fair point.
Fair point. Withdrawn and quiet and distant from his mother.
Mm-hmm.
Which is also why I was like, the author is not Jewish because she's being smart and carefully keeping this from being a Jewish person.
Yes. Yeah.
He like is described in a way where I'm like, I'm imagining at worst, at most neurotic, he's like Mark Ruffalo.
That is very true.
And at least neurotic, he's like truly like Chris Hemsworth or something. Like there was no less version of like a hunky. He wasn't remote. He didn't. Nothing about his description looked like him. But this woman on the motorcycle, it actually gave me a visual that I was like, okay, I can take this through the story.
I could maybe. I just feel like was the hair for sure. Her character is a professor, and I'm not trying to like.
That's true.
I'm not trying to like stereotype character. Like I mean, I had professors in school who dressed way cooler than me, but when they would describe like what she would wear to work, and it was just like a smart pencil skirt and stock. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, is this her? Like,
That's
I don't
true.
know.
I guess to me, this is her like 3 years after their relationship and they've fully gone into the motorcycle. They've leaned into the motorcycle of it all. She left her job. They went to Jersey and they're in a motorcycle.
Okay, yeah.
Her clothes aren't her, but her face, and she's described as beautiful. She looks this hairstyle does seem like it's in the 80s and not 2013 or whenever this book was written.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the cheap. The older the stock photos are, the cheaper they are. So you just gotta try your best.
Well, that's the most Jewish thing about the story, though. Saving money on the stock photo.
Yeah, that's pretty smart, actually.
David, you say that he's not neurotic, but if you actually look at like the descriptions of what's going on with him physiologically, like in the beginning of the book, like this guy is like crazy. It's like his boss says, you need some time to regroup. And his heart beat faster. It's like crazy. Like, and then there's another one like early on. It's like, oh, when he calls his sister, it's like, oh, like, I'll get a hotel. And she's like, you'll do no such thing. I won't. His heart jumped into his throat. It's so crazy.
That's true. There is some, but to me, it felt like, she was writing the sister and mom to be Jewish, and he was just sort of all over the place.
He was.
His reaction to things. And I mean, where do we start with the story? Because there's some crazy reveals right from the beginning. Before it gets sexual, there's a lot of death in his life.
There's so much death in his life. So we meet our Isaac. I keep calling him Ben, but that's another Jewish novel. Okay, we got Isaac.
Who you think is going to be a big character that's going to come back, but he's gone.
Oh yeah, Ben Silverman's gone real quick.
I know. I'm waiting for his story. Maybe in the sequel, it's like Hanukkah in New York or whatever. Ben Silverman sends
seems like a ghoul.
So Isaac hasn't been home forever, but he decides to go home, and he's like had tragedy in his life.
Hmm.
He lost
That's
his dad.
Yes.
He had a fiance that he never introduced to his family.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Between two-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN, you try to be in control of how your info is protected. But many other places also have it, and they might not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast for 40% off. Terms apply.
And she died in a car accident. Before he was going to do the thing that everyone does, which is bring her home and introduce the existence of her to her family, to his family as his fiance.
Yes. And that was weird. Like, it felt like the way he was behaving in terms of his family was like he had this huge fallout, and it was just like there wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, there wasn't some huge fallout. It was just like his dad died, and then he like separated emotionally.
Yeah.
His dad also died. We should also
Yes.
that's happened. There are two deaths.
There were two deaths, and the way it was introduced to you, there's like a term in a lot of writers' rooms where it's like a barrel or something, when it's like too many of the same things that it's like doesn't land. It seems weird. There was like a death barrel where you're like, his dad died, and then his wife is also dead, and he's having flashbacks of them both dying, but you're learning from how that happened. And you are like, did they die together? Is that how like, that's why it was confusing. But it was like, no, his dad died. And then later he met a woman, and then she died. And then you're like, is he cursed? Is this going to be a thing? Like, then it quickly corrects to just, he's had death in his life. And I guess there's nothing really consistent about his personality other than, I guess he's like, removed himself from his family. That's the only thing that I could say is like a through line for his persona, is that he's like doesn't want to come back to his Southern Jewish family.
Yeah. that's his thing, and that's what kind of bothered me, is that he was just like a cardboard cutout of a hunk. You know what I mean? He was just a hunk. And listen, who doesn't love a hunk? But he could have had a little more. Like, he's had so much stuff happen, and the whole time, like, where is his neuroses? Like he needed to be more neurotic. Like, any hunks can be neurotic, I guess is my point.
Right.
Right.
I agree. And that's the kind of this is what I would say. Revving Up for the Holidays had me a little interested as a title, because when you were like, it's a Jewish themed Hanukkah thing, I was like, oh, this does seem like the neuroses of like, oh my God, I got to get ready for the holidays. It's really stressful. But in reality, it's only referring to the fact that he has a motorcycle.
Yeah, that's hot. Yeah.
It's just about a motorcycle revving the engine.
That doesn't do it for it. That's not enough, because that was.
So there was a lot that was left on the table for him. But it did make me very curious as I was reading it before we get into the sex stuff, where I was like, one, is this written by a man or a woman? I assumed after a little bit, I was like, oh, it must be written by a woman, but it was a A.S. Fenichel.
It's a woman. I read about the author. She gave up a successful career in New York to move to Texas to be with the love of her life.
Yes,
Aww.
And the love of her life. And so I did the same research a little bit further to her website. The love of her life is named David, which leads me to believe her husband is a Jew.
Okay.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, she's like mixing all these stories of like, she also is from the South. She grew up I forget where she grew up, but she did end up moving to New York and then back to the South. And so I was like, okay, so she's the Jewish male character in this, but her husband in real life is the Jew. And she's like I think she's both characters in this story, if she's writing from her life.
Yeah. I think that she had like an interesting challenge here, because there are so many people who read romance novels, right? It's this huge, it's like a fourth of the fiction industry. So there might be a lot of people who don't readers who don't know about Hanukkah. So I think maybe there was just this challenge of like, okay, how do I introduce Judaism to readers who might not know about Judaism, but also keep it sexy and heartwarming? You know what I mean?
I was expecting, first off, more once we got into the sex stuff, more descriptions of a circumcised penis. Surprised, not even a mention.
I
If
know.
we're introducing Judaism, not a mention.
I have never read any sort of description in a book where someone was like, his dick was nice and circumcised.
And I wanted it. I was like, we're Jewish here. Is that the thing?
I feel like all of the I've never. Oh yes, us. Do you have a question?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is the putting on a condom description always like an essential part of romance novel erotica
I
writing?
had a similar question.
It has been of late. It's very much a thing in books that are written currently, but like when you think of like Nora Roberts or like kind of like, dare I say your mom's romances, no, you don't usually see condoms.
It was interesting. I mean, I like that they were being responsible. I don't know if they hadn't mentioned it if it would have bothered me, but it was nice to see.
I agree. They made it hot.
It was interesting that it became this sort of theme that in the midst of a sexual moment, there was a grabbing for a condom every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like, oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I felt like these sex scenes felt very much modern in the sense of condoms, and also consent was very important. And I thought like the author did a good job with that to make it like very comfortable for a female reader.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Being that this is the very first one I've ever read,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything other than this. And I did find it interesting that like it was like there was a constant check-in of like, yes, I want this, or yeah. But also I was like, that maybe is part of what erotic novels are, is that they're talking throughout the whole process.
Yeah, because it's like, what are you going to write? I mean, I feel like I've read the gamut of like where there's just like no talking. They just know exactly what they want. It's like they're mind reading and just know. And then others where it's more like this, where they like talk about it. And like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's like trying to be inviting to a female audience. It's trying to be like, and it's also like making sure in a way that the woman is empowered in this situation where she has like so much like autonomy over her own body, control over her own body in a world where we don't necessarily like see that in other books, movies, real life, etc. And I think that's that's kind of the appeal of like seeing finally seeing a woman who actually likes sex.
She seemed to like it. That's the vibe I got.
Yeah. I mean, I think, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was like, what did I highlight here? And I was like, oh, I did highlight the final heightening of the condoms, which was on the motorcycle. Mm. And it was like, they were on the motorcycle and it was like, his cock ached to be inside her, reaching into the saddlebag on the bike. He found the stash of condoms he'd placed there. It was like, wait, he had condoms in the bike?
They always have condoms right when you need them.
Mm-hmm. An unopened pack, which he didn't know why. But it turned him on, which is like, well, I think, yeah, I understand. You understand why.
Yes, the unopened pack was in her apartment.
Right, exactly.
Yes, which is like, I mean, that's a very funny thing to be like, she's not a virgin, but it's still kind of echoing the same concept of like guys being attracted to virgins, where it's like, oh, an unused condom pack. That means he hasn't used that. Therefore, I'm not like, she's planning to have sex with me or she hasn't used them, which is also hot, I guess, except for with me.
Yeah, that kind of like bothered me too. Of just like, well, what if it was open? Like, who cares? You know what I mean? And it's like, oh Come on.
Yes. They tried to lean into more of the direction that the mystery of like, did she buy it that day, like expecting to have sex, which is kind of cool. But I do think they had it both ways is the feeling that I was going for.
Yeah, totally.
They really flirt a little bit at the beginning with like trying to see if there's any sexiness that can be found in the Jewishness. this passage. I'm going to introduce you to the laka. His smile worried her. What's the laka?
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna love it.
That bothered me.
She aborts that whole strategy of trying to make the Jewishness sexy at all.
But there was like one passage where, oh God, I have to look for it. But I hope it's not the passage that you wanted to read, Evan. But it ends with she was his mana, and he had to have all of her.
Yes. I remember that.
He compared a woman to like Jewish bread.
That's when I was like, oh, this is a non-Jewish person writing this.
Yes.
They looked up a Jewish item of food.
Okay, but I think we're in like kind of free skate now.
Yeah, oh sure, yeah.
Oh yeah.
If I can, so this is where the book took a turn for me. So I didn't even have page numbers in my book. It just told me what percentage of the way through the book I was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This said it was 28% of the way through at this point. And it was very much like I said, like it felt like a Hallmark movie until this point where it's like, oh, a guy who works too much, going to a small town, crush. And so then he says, oh, does that mean you won't be getting on the back of my Harley when I get it running? Giada's body actually tingled at the idea of sitting behind Isaac on the bike. It's like, okay, we're getting a little like talk about sex. Her thighs pressed tight to his and her breast pressed against his back. I'm like, okay, this is like a sexual event. It was a fantasy she relived 1,000 times as a teenager. Her pussy throbbed at the notion.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, oh, okay. I was not expecting that.
Me neither. I mean, I was jarred because it was like, oh, this is sweet. This is sweet. And then it was like, there was another line where it was like, she was smiling all the way down to her pussy. And I'm like, wait, what? He's like, they're at a Hanukkah party with kids.
I have a lot of, I started a trend of highlighting every time the word pussy was used because I found it interesting the same way Evan did, which was, it was the first word to let you know, oh, this is a different book. And it came out of nowhere 30% of the way into the book. They hadn't used a word like that otherwise. Yes. And yeah, by the end of it, I have all these long ones, and it was like her pussy clenched as his words traveled directly to her clit. Yep. Like there were constantly things traveling and communicating down to her vagina.
Yes, I was going to say that. Like everything, it was like it traveled to her clit. It traveled to her pussy, and it's like, what?
Well,
what does that mean?
This was one of those things where I'm like, do I not know women well enough? I was like, oh, I don't know how things, when you're communicating a real strong emotion and feeling that's sexual, is that like kind of the way to put it? Or is it just like she came up with a thing?
They made her vagina seem like an old-timey telephone, and it doesn't work that way. I thought it was pretty awkwardly written. It's like, I get it. Like, I'm sure people will love it. I thought it was like, there was like too much traveling. Like, I felt like I was in Tron or something, where I was like in her, like her body computer and just like hearing the words and like going down a tunnel or something.
Right. I wonder how much, and I bet it depends on the book, but I felt like there was a attempt to make some of the sex and feelings of the sex artful and some of it very descriptive of like, this is actually what's literally happening right now. And in your opinion, Becky, what are the most successful versions of that? Would you prefer the more like sort of descriptive, metaphorical, like trying to capture a feeling, or is it fun to read something where it's just truly filthy describing body parts?
I mean, I think I'm like the type where I like it very like it entertains me when it's truly filthy, but then when there's like a kind of like maybe something more poetic or romantic sprinkled in, because I think when it's like too like metaphorical of like her bud blossomed like the morning flowers, I'm like, what? Like, I don't know what that means. Just say she's having an orgasm. Who cares?
I think that the artful writing, she got a little bit in trouble here in the sequence when she's kissing him. She takes his shirt off. She's like has her tongue. She's going for his nipples. They're like thinking about having sex, and then it says she sucked hard on his on the small pebble, and his rod jumped against her hip. And I was like, and I think she means the nipple is a small pebble.
Yes.
But with the small pebble and the rod, I was like, wait, is she saying his dick is a small pebble? I got a little confused.
Or the ball a pebble and the rod, like. Also, I have a question. How often do they describe the size? Because I felt like I couldn't quite get a handle on what the size of his penis was.
I mean,
I was like, found myself horrified that I'm like, I need to know this. Is this wrong that I'm starting to?
No, it's not wrong. I think it was described as big, and she was like, nice. I have condoms for it.
Yeah.
I couldn't, that to me, I couldn't quite tell. That's why I was like, okay, it's not, I couldn't tell if that was part of it or not, that he happened to have a very big penis or not.
I mean, I feel like, again, he's a hunk. He's a stud. It comes with the territory.
Yeah, right. And here's the other thing. Did you guys have a voice for Isaac? Because I kept thinking, I didn't, and there was a reason because it wasn't written very Jewish. But if you read the lines with a very Jewishy voice, it is kind of interesting.
I mean, I'm not going to put you on the spot, but let's say you wanted.
Well, let's see if we can find a good passage for like more of like a little bit more of a nebbishy guy when in reality...
I can't even do it. Like I cannot.
Well, here's where they've had the thing we didn't talk about the book is that they both loved each other in high school in weird ways that was kind of confusing at times.
Yes.
His way was very creepy. Basically, I think it was he like thought she was great, but he like thought that like you couldn't actually have a sexual relationship with a woman you respected. I think the situation. I
think, but also I thought what was interesting is that she at least put the confusion into the woman character as well by being like, I still don't understand what you mean. Like he kept being like, I can't touch you. You're too good for me. And she's like, I'm telling you, I'm not. Like I like you too. And he's like, you are special and can't be tainted. And I've tainted everyone else. And it's like, maybe he's they're trying to connect it to the fact that he murdered his last fiance. Because that was another weird thing. He like woke up a couple times being like, I could have saved her. I should have driven her. I was working too hard. That was kind of a throwaway.
That was a piece of writing that I actually thought was, and maybe, look, it's been a wild year. They introduce his mother. This is nothing to do with the romance or the sex or whatever. They introduce his mother and they're like, she was like judgy. She had something to say about everything. Again, as David said, this character was written as Jewish. She's moving to like an old age community, which this is also something I have been watching some of these Hallmark Christmas movies. Adult children being very mad at their adult parents' childhood at home is such a weird trope. So yeah. Actually, he's like kind of mad about it, but then he does accept it. But they introduce that this mom is so judgy.
Oh, she was, oh, yeah.
Yes. And then he, as David was saying, he has this fear or this guilt that he killed his fiance, who he never introduced. And he tells the story, and his mother says, there's nothing you could have done. And I was like, you know what? That was a nice moment. They built up this mother being like, oh, she's just going to be so critical. And yet she was loving, left him off the hook. And I was like, you know what? Sweet.
And then you know what? She also said, I'm going to light a yard site for her.
Yes.
Yes. That ruined it for me because it was like, oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, that's true. Like, it kind of made me feel better about things in my life for some reason. Then she's like, I'll light a yard. Like, she said it winking to a camera.
Yeah. It was weird.
And he was like, she wasn't Jewish, and she's like, but I am. I'm a,
Yeah, that part.
Yeah.
That candle is what you light for someone in your family who dies.
Yeah, and the book says that. So it was just like weird. You know what I mean? Like, it just like, that's what the book says word for word. And it's like, that is like it's so cringy. It's
different than the candle the Maccabees lit. They then describe on Hanukkah.
Yeah.
There are two different candles in Jewish tradition.
Mm-hmm.
They're both covered in this book. Okay, but here's the part I was going to say is you could read in a kind of nebbishy voice. This is a thing I came across just to try and think of it, where he was taught. Oh wait, where did I lose it? No. Okay, he basically says, "You were 16, my sister's friend, and the little girl who played at our house for years. Suddenly, everything about you made me hard."
I can't. This is so. I need to die.
He advanced until she was forced to back up against the wall. Then he pressed forward, and then his lips pressed against her temple. "Your call. I'm pretty sure you're old enough to make your own decisions now. I can't imagine why you'd want me, but I'm not saying no."
You just ruined this book.
Now, then right after that, she calls him beautiful. She says, "You have really no idea how beautiful you are, do you?" That was interesting. I'd never heard a woman call a man beautiful like that.
But I mean, he was like, he's sculpted from the finest marble that Adonai has put on this earth.
Oh yeah, this was. I've known you all my life, Giada. You were a sweet little girl, and then one day you were beautiful and sexy too. That was the day I swore I would never touch you.
You sound like an uncle at a bar mitzvah, and it's making me so uncomfortable.
These are the only Jewish men I know in my life.
Mm-hmm,
I couldn't quite find the voice for Isaac.
I mean, yeah, I couldn't find a voice for him either. I feel like, yes, I kind of just like read it as like brooding vampire, even though he's not a vampire, but you know what I mean?
I did too. I was thinking like Robert Pattinson in Twilight, even though.
Yeah, that's the thing. It didn't have a Jewish tinge to it.
Yeah. Okay, I have a question for you guys. In the book, Isaac returns to his hometown. He reunites with his motorcycle, and he's like, man, that is a symbol of my youth. What is something in your life, if you were to go home to your hometown and you see something and it's a symbol of your youth, of who you were in high school, what would it be?
Wow, that's real. I thought we were going to just ask us how many times we came while we read this thing.
That's the end question.
Evan, do you have one that comes to mind?
Well, I think this is embarrassing. It's like restaurants is what is the first thing that comes to mind. Like over diner, which was a restaurant that I would go to, or like a shopping mini mall. So I guess that kind of shows the difference between me and Isaac. Mine are mostly restaurants.
I would say a similar thing that would probably differentiate us would be like tapes that I recorded of SNL tapings.
Aww. That's very sweet.
I'm trying to, because I mean, there's a couple like high school-y things, but I was like, oh yeah, if I really went through like a box and I'd be like, oh, I remember like having, because there was no TiVo. You had to I remember and it came to mind because it was recently I went back to my parents' house and I saw a tape that said SNL with Monica Lewinsky, and it just made me laugh so much because I was like, oh yeah, that was like a huge thing, and there was no way for me to see it if I didn't record it because I wasn't going to be like maybe up that late or something. But
I am so glad you taped it. I'm so glad you taped it.
guys, it was a big deal when they had Monica Lewinsky on.
I mean,
Yeah.
closest thing to this actually would be my old guitar from when but it's like the opposite of Isaac, because I was like, I should like learn how to play guitar. It was terrible. I had like this like 17-year-old guy like come over and like teach me how to play guitar, but I didn't like listen to music even, so he couldn't even like, there were no songs to even teach me, and I like never got good at all. But then like every now and then I like, when I do go home, I see it, I'm like, oh, the old guitar. So it would be the equivalent of like if Isaac like said like my old motorcycle, I drove it once and got too scared.
Yeah. Same for me was my saxophone that I could never play because of my asthma.
Oh,
I couldn't control my breathing well enough because I couldn't breathe.
I played the violin and I was really bad. I was really bad at it. And I think it's because like my hands were too small for like the bow, and I would always accidentally like hit other notes, and it was like screech. It was awful. And I just remember one time we were like reminiscing with my bubby about like what I, did dance when I was younger and did this. And I was like, oh, and I played the violin. And she was like, yeah, you were terrible. And I had, because I think I had made her years before, made her a tape. I recorded myself playing little dreidel on the violin. And I think she listened to it and maybe had a heart attack and
You know
said
what?
I was terrible.
It sounds like you're going to have a very romantic reunion with someone from your childhood where you play them dreidel on your violin.
It could happen. It could happen.
Based on the way that it works in this book.
Yes.
Yeah.
A
Jew riding a motorcycle. I mean, what the hell? This is not a human that exists.
I'm racking my brain thinking, is there even half Jewish, someone with like a Jewish father, do they ride a motorcycle? And I can't think of anyone. So listeners,
to me, they have to be European. Like I was like, the only like Jew that's riding a motorcycle is someone that maybe isn't like, I mean, who knows? Maybe from the South. I don't know. There might be some Southern Jews that I'm like super unaware of. But I know a lot of like Jews from Texas that are no way they're riding motorcycles. The Jews from Texas that I know.
I don't know. Oh, no, it was a moped. I think.
Yeah, that sounds right. No. It was a golf cart. That's what it was. It wasn't a motorcycle.
It was an Acura. What did you guys think of the character of Giada?
Gigi. Once she's family, she's Gigi.
Yes. The kids who are so cute all the time. Never annoying. Never a pain in the butt. No tantrums.
She also had some death in her family to deal with. I thought it was interesting, like whose perspective the book was really in was kind of interesting to me, because
Giada's vagina.
Yes. Ring, ring. There's a message.
Like it starts off and it's very much in Isaac's point of view, but then it does really shift a lot. And like Isaac is kind of the weirder person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's more like the person I can relate to, who's like, what is this guy? Like, what's he doing? Like, what? Like, I'm trying to like understand him. I like this guy. And so I found her likable, though, with no characteristics that I could describe. Like,
Yes.
Like she was. There was one part where she's like, she was a scientist, not a cook. Okay, when she's cooking a meal for him, but like, I truly I can't like using any like. Is she like? Does she have a good sense of humor? Is she very earnest? I don't really know.
Right. I've wondered too, and you might know this better, Becky, having read a lot of these books. Does it generally switch POVs, and does it similarly is it more successful when like, because it seemed like the author was better at writing Giada in general, because like she's a woman, clearly like connecting with that character in some ways you could get that sense. But you're right, she had no details beyond the small details that she gave her and sort of brushed her off, because it really did start from Isaac's point of view.
Yeah, I feel like books are usually either both the male and female point of view, just the female, and very rarely, which I have read some very good books that are just male. And that to me, I always find to be like, and when it works really well, I'm like, whoa, this was like good and I wouldn't have expected it. But yeah, I feel like because this book was like shorter than a lot of other books, I feel like. Oh, yeah, no, honestly, thank you. If you guys were like, we want to read a full book, I've been like, okay, maybe April, do you want to do a Passover book? So I feel like this is a short book. People are reading this for the sex. Like, there wasn't enough room for character development. But I felt like she spent too much time on Isaac when Giada was the one I liked. You know, like I wanted to be in her shoes. Like, because like what I didn't like about Isaac is like, he's like, I gotta win over Giada. I gotta win over Giada. But it's like, dude, you live in New York. You're a workaholic. Like, I don't understand why you don't see why.
I mean, we are told he's a workaholic, but his bosses take a vacation and he just does and doesn't think about work ever again.
I know.
He had a moment. There was one moment where he thought
one moment.
Giada is like, she's obsessed with how much grading she's got to get done. And all. It almost seems like she needs a vacation.
Yes, she does. Right. Yeah, because like if Isaac were a workaholic, he wouldn't be like paying attention. Like he wouldn't be like telling the story of Hanukkah. He'd be like listening and be like, "Oh fuck, I gotta send an email." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right. He just immediately gets there and is back to being present in the moment. We should all be so lucky.
That's true. That's
we should.
So yes, I agree. Though I would have liked it. It was more from her perspective. Who is this mysterious Jew who's come into my life?
Yeah. Now that is a story. Who's this mysterious Jew?
And it could have been called The Mysterious Jew.
Yes. Because wasn't he mysterious?
Yeah, at one point she makes a comment about, or someone, was it Isaac that refers to her as an Italian that he's not allowed to have or something, or she refers to herself as like, there was something about her being an Italian non-Jew that was highlighted early on.
I feel like it was because like Giada she works with Ben's sister Sadie, and she like returned.
Sadie.
Is that a Jewish name?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I'm the worst. The worst.
Well, it's like kind of like Zadie. It's like
yes. Bubby and Zadie, his sister Zadie. What was I saying? Oh, so she came back like to take care of her parents or her mom or dad who passed, and so now she's like all alone. And so Zadie's family like adopts her, and she's just like this like loner, like this beautiful loner.
Yes.
And he's like, "Who's this mysterious woman? This mysterious Italian woman?"
And she had a boyfriend who broke up with her because she was too like reserved.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think that she didn't have her emotions. She wasn't like in touch with her emotions.
Yeah.
Which is so weird because that really seems more like Isaac's problem.
Yeah, yes. It didn't at all ring true. So, I mean, that was a moment where I'm like, wait, we're inventing something that we have not seen with Giada. She's like been pretty open and she's gone after Isaac pretty quickly here.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
She seems scared of how much she is being pulled into these like emotions, but that's about it.
Yeah. Okay. What was your guys' favorite sex scene?
Good question. Mm-hmm. Now, I would say the one I'm most curious to talk about, but it's on the nose as the favorite. I don't think it would be the favorite. Mm-hmm. But I did have some questions about it, and it was the motorcycle sex scene.
Sure. Yeah, because that was my favorite. Again, the premise. Yes.
Yes, I sort of agree. I think there's an element of it where you're like, oh, it had to happen here. But it actually left me with more questions.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get lost in the scene. I got much more like, wait, how are they doing this?
Yeah.
What's the physics of this?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whereas, and I wonder, like, did you think there is a little bit of magic to it that you're supposed to just assume? Or because there was a moment, and maybe I just missed something, where they're sitting the way that they are kind of like in the cover.
Yes.
Somehow he is able to remove his pants without getting off of the motorcycle.
I think
Or did you read it that he just took his penis out through the zipper?
That's how I read it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I read it. And
that
yes.
makes more sense.
Yes, all of these scenes are magical. Like, there's nothing not magical about any of these things. So, yes, I felt the same way when they were having sex in the kitchen. And maybe I was reading it, I was, like, kind of tired or something. But I, like, was like, oh, wait, she's on the floor now? Like, or she's on her knees? Like, I thought she was this. And so that confused me, even though it was, like, what a simple place, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, now that I know that was how they did it, yeah, I mean, I guess that one had the most, this was another part of the consent where he asked her if these were her favorite panties. Mm-hmm. And she shook her head no. And then he ripped them off because that's essentially her saying, you can rip my clothes.
Yeah.
And then, wait, okay, so this is really where we get into it. And then his cock was out of his trousers in 30 seconds.
And yeah.
Kind of a long time,
That's
actually.
a very long time.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, if it was just the zipper, that would be quicker. But if he was taking off his pants, is she just trying to skip the awkwardness of him getting off the bike and taking his pants off and then getting back on?
Yeah, 30 seconds is a long time. I was like, was he just like trying to get hard or like what was he doing?
3. Yes. 4.
Yeah, I don't think it also didn't work for the description if she's trying to be like, oh, he wanted to go so quickly. He was able to get it up in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
8.
I am so scared about the end of this count.
It's an insanely long amount of time.
Yes.
We were worried about what you were counting down to, Evan.
Yeah.
I'm going to cock out of my trousers in 30.
You have 29 seconds to do nothing and then 1 second to do it.
Yeah. What were they thinking? He like ripped her underwear and I'm just like, even if it's not her favorite pair, like still having ripped underwear is like, you can't use it. Like she doesn't have anything on laundry day. Do you know what I mean? Like I thought it was a little inconsiderate.
Well, and I have another thing. That's what I forgot I wanted to say about this. Mm-hmm. It was the messiest of the scenes, maybe also figuratively for the fact that sex is probably messier.
Yes.
But it was all over the place with words, and she was usually pretty like standard with the words she would use to describe some things, like pretty graphically with pussy and clit or whatever. Mm-hmm. But in this one, it was like, at one point she describes one of her breasts as one perfect globe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is all over the place. Like that doesn't do anything for anyone. That is like a perfect globe. It made it wasn't dirty anymore. And then it went back into like glistening her. Yeah. Like it was all over the place on this sex scene.
The other thing about ripping the panties is if you're thinking that this is like real, and you would try and pull that move, you have to be so confident you're going to do it successfully. Because if you don't, you're just giving like a vagina wedgie into this moment. You're like,
Well, the other thing was, I don't think he ripped them clean off. I think he just ripped the front. Because then later in the scene, they describe her taking her panties off still.
So what did he do exactly?
See, this is the thing. It's like the physics aren't all there.
This was the one that I couldn't track.
He ripped the side of it, which why? Why would you just rip one part and then like go like leaf like needle through your other leg? Because that's just like you just miss the point of panty ripping. So that's what I viewed, and I think that was the one part of that scene that I was like, why did you didn't have to do that, dude. You didn't have to, like, give her $5 now so she can buy a new pair of underwear.
Yeah. Yeah, here we go. Reaching under her wrinkled skirt, she pulled the torn thong underwear down her leg. So they were still on.
Yeah.
After, and looking for somewhere to dispose of them, so they didn't find. It was okay. Just to better describe this, because I feel like we're all over the place for the listener. It was the shed in his sister's house, so it was the most risque place for them to have sex in this whole book. Everywhere else, they had sex in pretty private places and in more conventional places. Maybe the kitchen's a little unconventional, but we don't need to reveal things about ourselves sexually here. We can all agree having sex on a motorcycle in your sister's house is unconventional enough.
Agreed.
And that was the most unconventional place they did it.
Yeah, it was the most memorable. Also, now that I'm thinking about it, why didn't she just take her underwear with her and like throw it out on her own?
Yeah. She
I
could
would
have
have done
easily
that.
taken it home. It was. There were a lot of confusing moments.
I mean, I know he was like, I'll take care of it for you. Like, obviously, I was like, oh, he's going to keep it. So that's sexy. But, or what, if that's, sexy to people. But like, but it was like, if she was like worried about it, she would just like stick it in her purse and then go home and throw it out later.
Yeah. I agree.
I like at the end, too, when they're like going to have sex again. And it's like, oh, we're going to have sex. And it's like, well, we're going to have to make it quick. In about 5 hours, my mother and sister are having dinner at your house. So it's like, okay, buddy. 5 hours.
I mean, it was funny because I was wondering how long the sex scenes were. If she was, because you're reading them, it seems pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, oh, are these really long sex scenes that aren't like? Would you say that these are around the typical length for how long the sex scenes are usually written in these types of books?
Yeah, I would say maybe there's in like longer books, maybe there's more foreplay. But like this again, because it's so short, they kind of have to like get right to it. And then, there are other books where I'm just like, these people are going all night. Like, why? They need.
Well, they did in this book go 2 or 3 times back to back.
But like there was like one that I read where it was pure erotica and I was just like, these people need a snack. Like, this is stressful.
What did everyone think of Mark?
Mark is his brother-in-law.
His brother-in-law, Sadie's husband, who bought took the Harley from Isaac's mom, and then.
Yes.
What did you think, Evan?
Well, here's a passage that really shined for me. Sadie watched him and frowned. It's the only time Mark gets fried foods. The rest of the year, everything is healthy. He observed his wife's narrowing eyes and pinched his mouth. Mind you, I do half the cooking. We eat very well, but the fried food is a treat. It's like, what? Their food dynamic is so strange. And you bring up that like she only keeps kosher because of Mark. There seems to be a lot of resentment, and like I could not imagine like a sex scene between the two of them.
No,
no.
It felt like. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, in terms of how short the book is, there are these moments where you're like, oh, we're giving time to this.
Yes, absolutely.
The author has decided this is important in a book that reads within in an hour.
Yeah. And I feel like, again, it was like maybe the way to like the way she was like, I'm going to introduce what Judaism is like. I need to write at least like one, I don't want to say traditional Jewish family, because what does that mean? But do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, oh, this is what we should be doing. I don't know.
Right.
But like they have Shabbat and they go to temple and it's like all because of Mark. Like,
yes. Now, and I'm not saying this would have been a good thing, but were you guys thinking there would be at least one sex scene that would be Jewish themed?
I did think so, yeah.
Just what do you mean by that? Like a lot of oi or like?
Well, first of all, yes, that would be great. But something where it was like, and I mean, look, I don't want to be. It could be maybe there was a yarmulke involved. Maybe there's a menorah or a dreidel that's like being like spun or something, or a song that like I don't know, playing in the background.
I thought, and maybe this is revealing too much or something, but I was kind of imagining there'd be some sort of sex scene with the wax from the Hanukkah candles.
Oh,
Yes.
Now we're talking.
Yes.
Especially with the Laka comment, I was like, that's the direction I thought we were heading.
And then maybe a nice spread of locks.
Yes.
We had wax, and I was like, yes, and then we get to the locks. Oh my God, yes, you're right. Or a beautiful menorah in the background, flaming lights, whatever.
Or even references to it, like the Maccabees that they had one night of wax that lasted 8 nights. It was like, oh my God, this lasted longer than his. I don't know. Look, I'm not the erotic writer. I'm just saying there's areas.
Yeah.
Actually, like the structure, if they had sex the 8 nights of Hanukkah, and each was like a different way that they were having sex.
Yes.
Or maybe there's like a dreidel, but instead of like the letters, it's like do this, do that, and then they have a fun night.
Or on Shabbat can't use electricity, and so it's dark or something interesting with the
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they do use electricity, and then they're like, ooh, that's naughty.
Yeah, that's their taboo. Or they bring in their third, who is Christian, and they're the person who does all the stuff when they can't.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Shabbos goy. We learned that's the term, right?
Is that the term? And I forget who told me about that. Maybe was it?
It might have been Evan.
There is this book. If you guys were at all curious, I reviewed it with our mutual friend Jenny Pearson. It's this wild book. It's called Craving Flight, and it's like 50 Shades of Grey, but it takes place in an Orthodox Jewish community. And this writer was like, I'm going to give myself a challenge. Can I write something so erotic, but it takes place in a very cloistered religion? And I have to say, it was really good.
Okay.
I think that's not that surprising, because I think that, sexuality usually has a lot to do with taboos.
Mm-hmm.
A sexual story in a culture that has taboos, I think that sounds promising to me.
Name one thing about sex that's taboo, Evan. I will say one of the reasons I really enjoyed reading this was knowing that you both were reading it too.
I agree with that.
Yes, I was as I was reading it, and when it got naughty, I was like, oh my God, what are these two thinking? What are they thinking right now?
No, and that was very fun. Of course, I wanted to, when I got to the pussy throbs, I wanted to text both of you, but then, of course, that will ruin it. Let's just not talk about the book. I even did text David. It probably felt like I was texting to make sure he did his homework.
Well, yes, Evan did.
I couldn't resist being like, have you read? I just needed to know.
He also texted me at the same point that it wasn't sex yet, because I had read the first little, so I couldn't tell if he was checking on whether I was done or whether he wanted to talk about it.
Just do a pre-combo. It's you guys are in a book club, and I get it. Listen, it was Jewish literature.
Look, it's hot stuff.
Yeah.
The other, sorry, just while we're on the topic of this is what this book is giving time to, when he takes to the mom to see her new place, and it's think of it, and he goes, I know he'd be glad it's a gated community. That's so weird.
Yes, he's talking, and by the way, he's talking about his dead dad.
His dad, who watched a lot of Fox News.
He was one of the Jews who voted for Trump.
Yes. Yeah, some very weird specifics. And yes, there was a little bit of it was tied into him working one morning, and he almost missed going to see the place, the gated community with his mom. And Yeah, I will say, and I actually liked this because I don't think it's not a fun thing. There was no anxiety around like almost getting caught having sex or like having sex and needing to get somewhere, and it like there was no like stress. The sex was just purely we're doing it, we're having a good time, we're not worried about anything.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a fear that like, oh, my sister won't approve or
Right.
just like happy.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think that's like why I like the book in general. Cause like as I was reading it, I was like, you know what? Good for them. Like that's my review. Good for them.
I will say, yeah, I think that is like there obviously is some stuff to like make fun of or to criticize, but I will say you said it like I did enjoy reading it. And part of it was probably that one, I've never read a book like this. Two, that it had the Jewish angle that I could like find enjoyment out of it. And like David was saying too, knowing that both of you were reading it, but there was something that I just was like, I like that this book exists. So that's something.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look, this is like, it's a new experience reading a book like this.
Yes.
That's purely from just that perspective. Like, oh, like it's why anything if I haven't like seen it yet or something like even a Hallmark Christmas movie. The first time I watched one of those, I was like, this is crazy. Like I did weirdly enjoy that, even if they're like purposefully bad and ridiculous. But I would like, would you say there's like different, because again, this is a new world and I'm probably going to start reading one a week.
Nice.
But would you say there's a different measure of like, I'm enjoying this ironically versus I'm actually getting kind of like turned on here?
I would say I do read a lot of books that I enjoy ironically because this podcast is $5 and under. So, you know, usually with like, I don't know, like quality. Some of them, I mean, some I read that I'm just like, oh, I guess it's a turn on. But for me, it's mostly like, I guess I give it the equivalent of like people who enjoy watching sports. Like if you enjoy watching baseball, you kind of know the outcome. The team you like is going to either win, they're going to lose, there's going to be a tie. Like no one's going to start suddenly playing golf. And so like that's why I like these books, because it's like these two people like they're going to get together, they're going to realize the power of love. Life works out and my brain needs a break.
Yeah. And you're like, I mean, first of all, I got lost on the sports metaphor, I'll be honest.
Fair point.
But I get where you're going, which is it's in some ways it's reality television, any form of something where you can turn off your like critic, like art hat and just be like, but then also there's a sex element to it. And
yeah.
I mean, you can't not, if you're reading for 2 pages, you either have to skip through it or you read the sex and you're like, yeah, I'm reading sex. It's like not like watching porn, but there's something going on.
I find it very empowering. Like it's this weird, well, I guess it's not weird. I guess a lot of people, but it's like it's fun to have a book with a female protagonist as a female reader. And it's just like empowering to like see a woman just like, this is so sad. It's empowering to see a woman and like to read about a woman who's like enjoying sex. And it's like, you know, these people are like the two people are on equal playing grounds. They're listening. It's like this weird, it's almost like, oh God, I'm going to do a bad metaphor, but it's almost like something like that's political. Like here's a woman who's in charge of her own body. And it's like, oh yes, it's sexy. I love it. Who doesn't love reading horny things? But also at the same time, I'm like, yeah, good for you.
Do you think we're learning about the author's sexual preferences? Like, or do you think, or fantasies? Like, you can't not be sort of reading into that too, where the author's like kind of telling you how she has sex. I don't know. Is that crazy to think?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like a lot of the authors that I've talked to, like their main thing is like, oh my God, how do I switch it up? Like I have to write another book and I have to make something hot. Like, what do I do? And so I feel like maybe that's probably more of the struggle of, I mean, I can't speak for, you know, all
That's
any
how you end
any
up
author.
with the descriptor of the vagina that is wet folds.
Yes, that is a descriptor. Like, I stumbled upon a website of just like, it's like a thesaurus site for romance writers. And it's like, did you run out of things to call vagina? Like, here's a list. And it's like,
that was the one where I was like, well, she ran out.
yeah.
She came up with wet folds.
Yes, wet folds. There was one, I forget if it was in this book or another one, where it was like called like a sheath. Like, you know how like swords go in a sheath?
Oh, yeah.
Like they referred to the vagina as a sheath. And I was like,
I
know what?
I mean, it's interesting. I like, yeah. Do you want like them to say pussy or clit, or do you want them to say wet folds or mound of something? And I guess you want a little bit of both.
I guess maybe it depends on the genre. Like, I find it weird if like I was reading a book like, not Jane Austen, but if it was weird, if like Mr. Darcy touched Lizzie's clit, like that would be weird. But maybe not. I don't know. I guess like, you know what? I think it depends on the writer. Like, I feel like it's like there are writers who have like, you know, these like cult followings. They have so many fans and they just like nail it every time, figuratively, creatively. And so I just feel like it's like, it depends. Like, if it flows well, it flows well. Like, if someone's going to refer to something as wet folds, like sometimes it works or sometimes it doesn't. And
is that common?
Yeah.
Okay. Evan, is that common? Have you heard that one?
No, I have not. But what I was saying, are these books, are they primarily read by women?
Yes.
Yeah. So what I found interesting was the thing that it was most like that I had read was specifically the sex descriptions, was when, I don't even know if this still exists, but when I was like first seeing pornography when I was like 10 or 11, like the physical magazines of Penthouse, which were just like very descriptive sex encounters, but there they have the fiction there is that these are true stories. They were, you know, something that like men would read, where it is like, you know, it's a little less flowery, but also somewhat flowery. Like, oh, like, you know, I like felt like their wetness, or sometimes from a female point of view. And I found that interesting, that it's like, oh, it's not like, you know, everybody likes reading about sex, I guess. Should we do an audiobook of this where Evan reads the part of Giada?
As long as you read the part in the Nebish. Yeah, I mean, I think people, like, if people want to, like, take these scenes and masturbate to them, great. If you want to, like, take these scenes and just, like, have it be, like, this funny thing, because, like, sex can also be funny, and it's, like, so ridiculous that they, like, come at the same time and, like, whatever, like, great, good for you. If you see it as empowering, like, it's, like, take it however, like, you want, you know, which I think is fun.
Yeah.
True. Well, true. Said.
Yeah, I mean, listen, guys.
And I know I came when she described her breast as one perfect globe.
And what about the other one? Is the other one just like...
What's the other one like?
Yeah,
just like a sad balloon. Like...
She then cupped one perfect globe, worrying the taut peaks. What does that mean? That's like so poetic. That's like being mindful of the nipples.
Yeah, I think it's like awaken. Like it said was worrying. Like that's weird.
Yeah.
Like I didn't like that. But like if it was like awakening the nipples, I would have given an A+ to that to that line. So yeah.
And there was also one other moment where, and I felt like there wasn't really a reason for chapters. I didn't quite understand why a chapter ended or started.
Sure.
But
yeah.
There was a very funny one where it was like, it went from chapter 3 to chapter 4, and it was like, they were just about to start having sex. Chapter 3 ends. Then chapter 4 starts up, and it's like, they enter the bedroom.
Yeah.
What are we? How are we deciding this?
Because they're like, oh, I gotta keep them reading.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I guess it's like kind of like a weird, like horny cliffhanger or something. Okay, you guys, do you have any final thoughts on the book? Also, if you want to give it a rating of like how much you enjoyed it, A through F.
How many candles on a menorah?
How many candles on a menorah? 8? Yeah, let's do that. That sounds better for the holiday. 8 candles is amazing. No candles. Not Hanukkah at all. Based on how you enjoyed it, because you guys haven't like read a romance before.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I would give it 6 candles, I think.
That's good. I find that a good rating.
Yeah, I mean, again, I probably, if I read more of these, it maybe would drop. But as just anything that I have read, it was short. It was memorable. I wanted to keep reading. It also, too, I don't know if you guys experienced this, because I just had like the percentage of how much I was like, done with it. And then the book ended at like 93%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's it.
I know. Yeah.
I kind of wanted a little bit more. So I think that's a great sign. So I would say I'll give it, for me personally, 6 candles.
6 candles. David?
I think that Evan summed it up right. I mean, when I didn't have a direct candle number, but I knew it was going to be above 4.
Okay.
Because I feel like I did enjoy it. And I agree it was short and it was new and all these things that like, it made me laugh occasionally, not necessarily on purpose, but I was like, and it also had a couple of moments where I was like, whoa. And so, my instinct was to say 5 candles, but you know what? I'm going to throw the shamash in there and I'm going to say 6 candles too.
6 candles. I feel like I would give it. I'm so glad you enjoyed it, guys. That makes me feel so good.
These, so I don't think you should like this. For all I know, could be like one of the worst ones. So I don't think you should feel any pressure.
No, here's the thing. I feel like I would give it like 6 candles, but maybe that 6th candle is burning a little, like is like halfway burned. Like it's about to go out for some reason. The timing of when you lit the candles is a little off. It wasn't my favorite, but like I was rooting for them. And it's like whenever I'm rooting for the couple, that to me is a sign I enjoyed it.
Right. And what would you say is like, what were the missing elements?
I thought the missing elements was a better fleshed out character from Giada. I wanted her to be more. I wanted Isaac to be just like a little more vulnerable and a little more aware of his struggle, aware of his conflict. It just seemed like he was so not aware of what Giada was going through and how she was feeling. It was all about like, I have to win her over, which is, hot. People want to be pursued, but like I just like couldn't get over the fact that he didn't understand that she was worried about being with him because he doesn't live there and he's a workaholic. Right. And like, why do you not? I wanted to slap his beautiful face.
Are typically the like worst things usually from an emotional standpoint that like miss the mark, that don't get you into it?
Yeah, it's usually that. It's usually when like there's some like the book that like it's usually when like things are like maybe like the character comes across as like is sexist and like or like when something there's like characters that are stereotyped where it's like you don't like the like I know some people like people are like into like dare I say semi-consensual sex? Like, you know what I mean? Just in terms of the fantasy, like the consent is there, but it's just like unspoken. But like, if you don't know it, like if you don't know that genre, like it makes you uncomfortable. Like that, I'm like, oh, I don't know. So yeah, I guess that's my answer to that.
Now, what
question.
if her pussy isn't perfectly shaved?
Oh, when I read that, I was like,
for you?
I was like, what does perfectly shaved mean?
Yeah,
and that
we all wondered what that meant.
And that bothered me because it was coming from his perspective, and it's like, dude, you have a say on like how a pussy should be shaved. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, you know what I mean? It's like that stuff that can get to me.
Well, to me, there were some times when I was like, are we in the author's perspective? Like, is this woman that's writing this story telling me that this is happening? But you're right. That is his perspective.
Yeah.
I also found it, and these are the parts of the book that I liked, that he lives in Jersey City.
Smart.
Like a perfectly nice place to live, but like the fantasy of like this like big like executive like from New York like coming and like you meet him and it's like, he doesn't live like in a penthouse in Manhattan, like bedroom in Jersey City. Like those were the details that were like interesting to me
Yes.
I think made me like it more because it very much like didn't. It just felt like I could imagine. It like made it feel very relatable, like a thing that happened.
Yeah, a more real dude that isn't like some
Yeah, like most of the people I know who are like, I'm moving to New York, bye guys. And then it's like, I live in Jersey City. And I'm like, oh, very real.
Now, do these books usually end with a sex scene or no? Because that's where when Evan said the 93%, that's when I was like, I had the same thing where I was like, okay, we got one more last hurrah, and then they just like sort of had a nice little ending, didn't end in sex.
Some
which
do.
is probably healthy.
Yeah. Some do and some don't. It depends, but they all end happily. Like no book is ever not happily ever after. Or, some are like it's a wedding or like it's like they have their baby already, but others it's just like they drive off into the distance. Love.
It didn't have like what I'm so used to from like movies, I guess, is a like all is lost moment.
Right. It's very easy.
It's not like he doesn't like be like, oh, and then like he had a work thing and like flew back to New York and
I think
and then like came back or something.
I agree. I think the closest to the all is lost was we were supposed to think when she cried and told him that she loved him and then ran away, right? Was that kind of the same moment?
Yes, but
I agree.
thought
It wasn't an all is lost moment, but
no, and it came like too early. Like it was kind of the Act 2 midpoint, as you know what I mean. Yeah. But again, I don't know. It was easy. It was just like easy,
I have a question.
Yes.
If Isaac and Gianna were real people, would you like to go and have like a 2-hour dinner with them?
Well, where are we going? And is he paying?
He's paying.
Or is Giada cooking? Because it seems like she could maybe cook.
If she's cooking, no thanks, because that spaghetti dinner she made did not sound appealing.
She, I would say if I knew all this about them, like literally knowing their sex life, I'd kind of be curious to go have a little dinner with them. But as people, I probably don't find myself being a friend of Isaac and Giada's.
No, I don't think so. I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, if I would go for 2 hours and if I never would have to, like, see him again, I could last 2 hours.
Yeah.
I just want to see what they look like.
Yeah.
Like, I'm curious. I get the sense. I went back and forth. I was like, who's hotter? But I do kind of want to know. And I know that's vain of me. But I'm like, it keeps ping-ponging back and forth between, like, Isaac being this hunk.
Yeah.
And then suddenly she's describing Giada, and it's like, oh, these are just both of the most beautiful people in the world.
Yeah, they're both beautiful. Yeah.
I was sure she was more attractive.
I'd say she's more attractive, too.
Got it. But then she describes his, like, abs and stuff. And I'm like, whoa, this guy was more ripped than I thought he was going to be.
Here's what I took it as. He is very in shape and very, like, put together, but ultimately Jewish man.
Got it. So he still looked Jewish to you?
He still looked a little Jewish, even though I said Robert Pattinson. He looked like Jewish Robert Pattinson.
Okay.
Yeah, and she had, like, a Gina Gershon vibe to me.
Interesting.
I was picturing, okay, did you guys watch Saved by the Bell? Do you remember the years when, like, Kelly...
Oh, yeah.
Tori, that's her name. That's who I pictured. I don't know why. I guess because the cover, she looks like Tori, and so that's who I pictured. I don't know why.
She is very pretty.
Yeah.
I met Tori at the Saved by the Bell pop-up restaurant.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Please don't tell me she was just a waitress there. That it was just an arbitrary job that she picked up.
No, she was there taking pictures.
Okay, good.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm glad she's enjoying her oeuvre of work. Well, guys, thank you so much for being guests today. This was a Hanukkah miracle.
It was great. Thank you so much for asking us to do it.
Yeah, this was a pleasure. I guess I shouldn't. I mean, that sounds almost like an innuendo. And maybe it was.
Too Stupid to Live is part of the Frolic Podcast Network. It includes so many great podcasts, including this one.
Well, hello there. I'm Sarah Wendell from Smart Podcast Trashy Books, part of the Frolic Podcast Network. Smart Podcast focuses on romance fiction, the nifty folks who read it and write it, and always what books we're reading and want to tell you about. It might be an expensive podcast to listen to, but I promise great recommendations and conversations every week. We have talks about burnout with educators like Amelia and Emily Nagoski. We have gossip sessions with authors like Nalini Singh, and we're always having a good time, and I'd love it if you joined us. New episodes arrive every Friday, and you can find Smart Podcast Trashy Books on your favorite podcast app.
For more podcasts you'll love, visit frolic.media/podcasts. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great rest of your day.